And I will be representing Sustainable Parks, which is the team S3, which participated in the Ecoloop Energy GC. So the main topic was to develop a circular economy framework for Apple in Zinc. So we have explained this using taking the example of Apple. So let's start with the index. So on the following presentation, we will have an introduction. Then I'll be explaining few factors on which Apple has focused upon to improve reducing wastages in its operations. So let's start with the introduction. So Apple is one of the world's most iconic technology companies and has continuously pushed boundaries of innovation, setting high standards for design, user experience, and technological advancements. Apple has embraced a circular economy framework to revolutionize its operations and redefine the way it designs, manufactures, uses, and recycles its products. So the factors which Apple has focused on are to integrate economic viability, environmental consciousness, innovation, practicality, scalability, social impact, budgetary constraints, regulatory compliance, and adaptability into its core operations. So let's start with the factors which Apple has incorporated in its operations in order to develop a circular economy, in order to induce circular economy in its functions and operations. So let's start with the first factor, which is economic viability. So under this, Apple has done the following 5 points. So first comes cost savings. So cost savings basically refers to identifying opportunities for costs through product design, assembly, and repair. The other factors which come under this economic viability point are revenue streams, financial sustainability, extended product life, and circular business models. If I talk about circular business models, it refers to investigating innovative circular business models such as leasing products to generate recurrent revenue. In this economic viability point, there comes a concept of closed loop supply chain. So a closed loop supply chain is a sustainable approach that manages a product's entire life cycle from design and manufacturing to end to life disposal. It focuses on minimizing waste and maximizing resource efficiency. So in this way, we are basically recycling a product that is used and again reusing it after a particular cycle. The other factor which Apple has focused upon is the environmental impact. So how does it has incorporated environmental impact in his operations is by thinking about the carbon footprint reduction by increasing resource efficiency, water usage efficiencies, energy transition, and packaging, and maintaining an eco packaging and minimizing packaging waste. So if I go upon explaining one of them, it's like, so let's start with carbon footprint reduction. So so they have set specific KPIs to measure and reduce carbon emissions throughout the product life cycle. Similarly, for energy transition, it has invested in renewable energy resources for manufacturing facilities to reduce reliance on fossil fuels. So here in the first point we came across the term KPI. So what is KPI? The full form of KPI is key performance indicator. So a key performance indicator is a quantifiable and measurable metric used to assess performance, progress, and success of an organization, process, or individual in achieving specific objects or goals. KPIs provide clear data-driven insights and into performance, enabling informed decision making. These metrics can cover various aspects such as financial performance, customer satisfaction, operational efficiency, or employee productivity. The next factor which has Apple used is basically the innovation and technology. As we know that in this modern world, innovation and technology can lead to a lot of things. So the points are IoT enabled tracking. So Apple has integrated IoT sensors into product design to monitor usage patterns, predict maintenance needs, and facilitate reasonable recycling. So in this way, they are reducing the amount of things and such things that are getting wasted after one cycle of production. Other factors include using blockchain for transparency, advanced recycling, eco-design tools, and smart manufacturing. So what is an IoT sensor? So as we came across the point in IoT-enabled tracking, let's explain what is an IoT sensor. So IoT sensors are small specialized devices integrated into IoT-enabled objects. These sensors detect and measure physical data such as temperature, humidity, light, emotion, or environmental conditions. They play a vital role in collecting real-time information, enabling devices to respond, interact, and transmit data over the internet for analysis and decision-making in various applications. There are other eco-design tools for Apple that have been used by Apple that are listed here in this paragraph. So we come up upon the next point, feasibility and practicality. So supply chain optimization, like what does this mean? This basically refers to the optimizing the supply chain. So this is also one of the techniques that have been utilized by the Apple operations in order to incorporate the concept of circular economy in its ventures. So optimize the supply chain to accommodate circularity principles without major disruption to production schedules. So other points include employee training, pilot programs, reverse logistics, supply engagement. So if I go on to explain pilot programs, it's basically like initiating a pilot circular initiatives in select product lines or regions to test and refine approaches before scaling up. What is refurbishment of e-waste? This is also a new concept that has been used by Apple. So refurbishment is in the context of electronic waste. E-waste is a process of repairing and restoring used for discarded electronic devices to a financial and like new conditions. It involves thorough testing and repairing of replacing faulty components, cleaning, and sometimes upgrading also. Refurbishments extends the lifespan of electronics, reducing the need for new product and manufacturing and mitigating the environmental impact of e-waste disposal. So, let's move on to the next factor, which refers to scalability. So, this also reduces waste. So what are the factors that are included in scalability and modular design, global integration, partnership expansion, supply chain flexibility, and continuous improvement? So, if I talk about global integration, so basically developing a roadmap for global integration of circular parties across all products and lines. Similarly, supply chain flexibility refers to ensuring that supply chain can flexibly accommodate fluctuations in product demand and recycling volumes. If we talk about a roadmap to global integration for Apple, developing a roadmap for global integration of circular practices entails a systematic approach. Begin with a thorough assessment and stakeholder engagement. Set clear objectives, emphasizing sustainable product design, optimizing manufacturing and efficiency supply chains. Implement reverse logistics, recycling, and refurbishment systems, and educate consumers while adhering to regional regulations. So, as we see, these are the factors, in fact, these are the factors that form the roadmap to global integration followed by Apple. Now, let's talk about social impact. So, this creates local job creation, community engagement, and educational programs. Skills, it leads to skills development, supplier responsibility also increases, and stakeholders also increase. So, if I talk about in all of these factors which Apple has considered, the major factor are the budgetary constraints. In applying various, it's often seen that when these big companies or the operations are trying to incorporate circular economy in their operations, they often face budgetary constraints. So how has Apple come up to solve this problem? So first is like prioritizing of the initiatives. So Apple has basically prioritized the initiatives. Instead of investing in all certain things, they have focused and narrowed down certain things and started investing more in them. There is also cost efficient design. Government incentives are also there that supports companies that are promoting circular economy. Resource optimization is one of the method and circular investment is other. So let's talk about circular investment a little bit in detail. So what is circular investment? Circular investment involves allocating funds to support sustainable and circular economic practices. This includes investments in eco-friendly materials, recycling infrastructure, refurbishment facilities, and renewable energy resources. It seeks to achieve long-term financial returns while minimizing the environmental impact of operations. Circular investment, in fact, enable companies to adopt a circular business model where profits are reinvested into initiatives and that promote sustainability, economic viability, and resource management. So we come to the point, resource compliance. So what does this mean? Regulatory compliance. So these include legal expertise, standards adherence. So these are basically a set of rules and regulations that any operational firm has to follow. For example, audits, assessments, conducting regular audits and assessments to identify address of any compliance gaps, taking proactive measures to prevent legal issues. If the government of India has also been very active in being strict in these regulatory compliance. There have been many acts that have been passed over the years. Some of them include the Wildlife Protection Act 1972, the Forest Act 1980, the Environmental Act 1986, and the Hazardous and the Other Waste, the Management and the Treasury Movement Rules 2016, very recently. So now we come to final and the first point of the adaptability. So, what does adaptability refer? So basically, the operation needs to adapt to its surroundings. It cannot just exploit the environment, but in fact, it has to learn how to use it more efficiently. So these include market trends monitoring, regulatory updates, technology integration, supply chain flexibility, and research and development. The final point of research and development is very important in case of circular economies. They need to continuously develop new things which they can use and help them to adapt to newer and more environmental friendly resources. So investing in research and development to innovate and develop new circular solutions, ensuring long-term relevance and competitiveness. This research and development is also promoted by the governments, and many a times government give grants to these companies to carry on such research. And what is supply chain flexibility? So supply chain flexibility refers to organizations' capacity to adapt and respond swiftly to changes in market conditions, customer demands, or unforeseen disruptions. It involves the ability to efficiently adjust production, distribution, and sourcing strategies to meet shifting requirements. A flexible supply chain is characterized by resilience, agility, and responsiveness. So, in this presentation, we summarized how circular economy framework can be incorporated in a large firm like Apple. We took various examples and various factors that have been used by the Apple company and explained them in brief. So, thank you. This is the end of the presentation. Thank you.